Yo, let's go ahead. We're gonna launch that bitch. I'm gonna eat some food. I'm gonna finish this video. I've been doing nothing but working for I don't know how many hours and days straight, but fuck the world.
By checking out Build Memes at the link below.
I love memes as much as you guys do, but the thing is, I use my phone for work a lot, and I can't be stuck on a Nokia 3310 or something. So let's lay out some ground rules.
Well, fuck you.
1. It
I want them to
needs to
troll
run
you
a
for this.
recent version of Android or iOS.
Well, I gotta update.
Sorry, Windows Phone lovers. 2. It's gotta have a touchscreen. 3. It has to work on North American cellular bands. And 4. Finally, if it's an Android phone, I need Google Play Store support so that I'm not spending half of my time role-playing as the APK hunter. With those hard rules out of the way, let's talk soft requirements and preferences, starting with operating system.
You're a douche.
The benefits of iOS are many. It often gets the best versions of apps and better support for smart devices. Ecobee thermostats, for example, often fail to complete their Wi-Fi setup on Android, but they always work on an iPhone. And iOS devices also get excellent long-term software support, which can have real-world benefits even for frequent upgraders. Since the mishap, I've fallen back to my old Note 9, and I would be having a much better time right now if I'd gone with an iPhone 10 at the time. This thing is laggy as heck. I'm also kind of curious to try out CarPlay. I like Android Auto well enough, but there are weird behaviors from time to time, like random failures to resume music playback, and this weird interface issue I've had recently where it's really hard to just get to the app list. So maybe it's better on the dark side. Or maybe it isn't. Having spent the last 5 straight years on Android, at least it's the devil I know. Though, with that said, I'm mostly familiar with the Samsung skin, so it's a learning curve I can get. I'm sure I can seamlessly. I ended up with a crusty Chinese skin that's cluttered with non-English language apps and doesn't even have proper Netflix support. That would kind of suck. Or Sony's skin that honestly seems great, other than the fact that for some obtuse reason it doesn't allow you to move the back button over to the right hand side. Other than that, I don't actually use much of the customization that Android offers, so I am mostly indifferent to my operating system. Except,
why would you move the back button to the right hand side? You're an idiot.
A fair bit.
The back button belongs on the left hand side.
Smart product that isn't technically available in
like way over here, back? No, back. That's where you get your switching your apps button.
The App Store or the Play Store.
The hamburger
menu.
Side
loading was the only way to get
it. They call it.
Oh, and I guess the Android world offers a lot more variety on the hardware side. Like if you want cool features like a foldable screen or a built-in thermal camera, Android is the only game in town. Also, I strongly prefer fingerprint ID to facial ID. It's not a privacy thing, I just find it faster because before I'm even looking at the phone, it's unlocked and ready to go. The last thing I'll say on the software side is digital assistants might be a major consideration for some people, but as far as I can tell, they pretty much both suck donkey tail these days, so, realistically, call quality is a way more important thing to me. I found myself dropping more phone calls than computer parts lately with my Fold 3. Okay, because I'm in Canada, meaning that anything with strong reception for calls on the common bands up here would definitely be a plus. And, oh, this is a fun fact, by the time this challenge is over, we should be capable of empirically testing cellular reception in our EMC chamber, so we'll be able to let you guys know if you picked a good one or if you screwed me over. Another thing is speed. This is a funny one because for the longest time, I felt like phones are all kind of fast enough, but as it turns out, if you regress far enough,
It's afraid a match bad loser.
Now,
That would be
part
a
of
drag.
it is a stark contrast with the more modern device that I've been using lately, but
Real men use
major
iron
part of
sights.
it is that while your old phones
I
stay
use
the same,
heavy
the
artillery.
rest of the world is gone. Everything from your apps to the websites you visit.
There's a win out there waiting
the
for us.
operating system it's running has gotten more complex and more demanding. I don't game on my phone though. Like the most demanding things I do are watch 4K videos and load large spreadsheets and Google Sheets. So as long as navigation and loading times are snappy,
long walks off a high cliff.
Just a step in the right direction. Dropping in, hang on.
I'm honestly not going to notice the difference if you guys go for last year's model or if you pick me out with a Snapdragon Gen 3.2 2x3, whatever. As for durability, anyone around here can tell you that I live my life in a perpetual state of semi-distracted multitasking. So, while it is rare for my phone to hold, screen down, concrete smackdown, you can see from my longest surviving device here that I do drop my phone. A problem that is exacerbated by the fact that I feel that means that the iPhone's robust reception market is very little to me, but I can get something that similarly uses extra strong modern glass recording. It might keep something like this from happening. Or, actually, failing that, strong repairability is super cool. Something I could easily easily replaceable or not, a higher refresh rate screen is a plus for me, but going back to 60 Hz,
I don't have a Mozambique.
Nearly as much as I expected, so I guess it's not a top priority. And while we're at it, I also
is there anyone else with us?
Having the boostiest maximum brightness. I need to be able to read it outdoors, but having a neutral color profile available to me is way more important. I like to view content, whether it's a web page or a TV show, as the creator intended, and I don't like having my colors around it. A folding display is another plus for me. I've grown very accustomed to remoting into a PC and being able to actually see what I'm doing. But after 3 years, honestly, I'm also kind of ready for a change, so... One thing I don't want to give up, though, is an always-on display. It is really nice. My phone's on the table to be able to, like, discreetly check what time it is in the middle of the meeting without having to look at my wrist or click on my phone. And, speaking of clicking, I also really like having it quickly to access the camera without making the device first. Third method is a double press on the power button, but I guess I can learn something else.
Close range.
On the subject of cameras, I feel like a bit of an anomaly here, but I don't really care much about fancy features or shooting modes, and I almost never use alternate lenses, because usually they have a lower quality sensor behind them, and to my eyes, the main shooter with a bit of CSI enhancement is usually a better bet anyway. With that said, I do know that some recent devices do use multiple high quality sensors, so that's something that could be kind of fun to check out. I'm also not a big selfie guy. On the rare occasion that I do really care about the quality, I'll just turn the camera around and then no-scope it, which, by the way, shout out to the Samsung S Pen for making this very easy to do, because you don't have to mash the volume button in order to take the shot, which, especially at night, helps you keep it much steadier, and is way faster than just waiting for a countdown timer every time you make a hand gesture and hoping that you counted it right in your head because you can't see the screen. I also don't record a ton of video on my everyday phone. I do have an iPhone that I keep around for when quality matters, and production crew when the quality really matters, but I do grab and talk to clips of my kids and pets sometimes, so it never hurts to have decent video quality. This is a bit of a tangent, but as someone who backs up my original quality photos manually to my server, USB speed does matter for me. Most iPhones, and even some
Levi says,
phones,
guys,
ancient USB 2 speeds, meaning that my phone is for a longer period of time.
Guys, where?
USB 3 would be a big plus. On the subject of the charging port, for better longevity, I never use wireless charging, and I don't even use fast charging if I can avoid it. I don't care about any of that. 5 volt, 1 amp for life. But that doesn't mean I didn't benefit from something a little more modern.
Levi says, use Durex condom, it feels live having sex without. Levi says,
who uses condoms, you fucking nerd? Jesus Christ.
Would sometimes fail to make it to bedtime with the battery.
Tell me you're a child without telling me you're a child.
Levi says, WTF I doubt.
I don't typically watch movies on my phone, but I do often watch TV, and for that, I do like
what
to
the
have...
Levi says,
I
don't want to be a dad at 20.
Yeah, there's something called birth control, you fucking loser. Who uses that? You think that it feels good to use a condom? Jesus Christ.
Levi says, she want take ITT.
Well, that's... then you're doing it wrong, bro.
Levi says,
figure it out.
WTFF can I do backslash?
I don't know.
Levi says,
have better persuasive skills, possibly.
Miss the micro SD slot. The cards are just so prone to corruption and performance issues that even on phones that...
God damn, you don't put your girl on birth control?
I've basically never found myself...
You're 20 years old? Holy
That's
fuck.
necessary to say. For obvious reasons, waterproofness would be a plus. Apple screen scanning hoo-ha is kind of cool, though I've used it a grand total of twice. Once to
Levi
scan my
says,
office for a VFX
how old
film
were you,
with an
boomer
explosion
/
disclosed. And then once
I'm not a
to
boomer, I'm a
video
millennial.
yard.
Way to show your fucking
So,
age,
at a
you
rate
fucking
of
zoomer.
0.75
Jesus
per year then, I
Christ.
think it's the kind of thing
Levi
that I could
says,
just borrow an iPhone from a
WTFFFF.
friend or colleague for-
I'm the age of the people that made this game that you're playing right now. The ones who are rich, unlike you, 20-year-old.
I love the iPhone 4 for its
Levi says,
one-hand ability.
Jesus
Sitting in your
Christ.
mom's house, probably,
For a bit,
talking
though,
about
it's unlikely
condoms
that
and
I
shit.
would permanently skip work and use a big screen. I loved the
Have
iPhone.
some self-awareness.
It was
You don't even
just
have a mic.
so snappy at the
Maybe
touch.
figure that out before you worry about
The touch
condoms.
was
Levi
so
says,
cool.
hell not, I moved out for
And then
college.
On the Android side,
Wow, where do you go
although
after
GT
college? Back to your
1, Note
parents?
9, and Fold 3 are all fond memories for me, actually. I can't really think of anything that I...
Where do you spend your
That's a
summers,
really strong
little
word,
boy?
but,
Levi
super
says,
clunky stuff
nah,
like
back to
Razor
Toronto.
Blade, that's never really floated my boat.
Where in
For those of you who
Toronto?
made it
You
this
live
far,
on your own in
I really
Toronto?
appreciate your time. You are truly gentlefolk to care so much about the recommendations.
Levi
Doesn't it?
says,
We're gonna have a
yeah,
link to
obvious
our
light.
unofficial
Yeah,
subreddit
obviously
thread where you
not.
can
I don't know
add
why.
more
If you're,
code
dude, why are you
devices.
typing
I
everything?
also appreciate your optimism. Your faith in the
Levi
rest of the
says,
community
I work
is
2
the same
jobs.
as you're doing.
Wow, who cares? Maybe get an education so you can work one job.
Absolutely nothing of what I've just said. Or, I don't know, maybe you...
Then have a bunch of leisure time.
Prove me wrong.
And then become rich.
Levi says, I'm majoring in business.
To our sponsor, Moosin. If you're tired
Well,
of
it
seeing
doesn't
the
sound like
email
you're very
marketing
good
world
at
in black
business
and
if you
white,
have 2
Moosin
jobs
might be able
already.
to send your audience to greener pastures. They offer a suite of tools designed to improve customer relationships through personalized outreach. With Moosin, you can create visually
Levi
appealing
says,
email
well, gotta make cash for the fees.
and personalized dynamic elements, while they're segmented
Yeah,
for
find a job that
let you
pays you
target
more for one
specific
job.
subsets of your audience with the perfect newsletter. If you're tired of manually typing out long, beefy responses,
It's called
use their
efficiency.
pre-made automation templates or create your own with their flexible drag and drop builder. And after you've
Maybe
launched
leverage your
campaign,
education.
calculate
Levi
how
says,
you're doing when
well,
they're
I'm
in
planning
advance
to get one at
of
Amazon next month.
Moosin
Oh
also
god, that's the
offers
most dumbest thing I've ever
e-commerce
heard.
platforms
You're gonna piss in a bottle
Levi
and
says,
shit in a
what?
bag? Congratulations. Maybe look up what Amazon does to its workforce before you join it.
If you don't, it'll be a big mistake. If you guys are looking for some of what not to suggest, please, why don't you check out this recent video where we
Levi
show
says,
10 of the
bruh, my
weirdest
friend
clothes
works
ever.
there.
I mean, how do you even buy
Okay,
these?
that's probably his problem as well. Unless you're working in management, administration, there's no reason to work for Amazon.
Warning. Movement in progress.
Good work. We're inside the next ring.
Levi says, bruh, they pay good though.
What is good?
Delivering care package.
Compared to your normal job, or?
Levi says, like 20 an hour.
Kill leader. Watch
Levi says, yuppo.
Do you think that's good? Oh my god. Okay, Zoomer. You're never gonna afford a house.
Levi says, 8 least for now.
That's like barely over minimum wage. And I'm not trying to be mean, I'm trying to help you out.
Levi says, well, hell nah, the housing prices in Ontario is crazy anyways.
Round 3. Beginning ring countdown.
Say one, we're all inside this ring.
Maybe start your own business.
Attention. Delivering replicator.
care package over there. Eyes up. Incoming replicator.
Help John if you need it.
Levi says, I was kinda planning to move to US, /.
it's not much
Levi
better
says,
down here, but
after
okay.
all my studies and stuff.
Okay.
Levi says, I don't know, the taxes are killing me /W.
I want to say you need to get a microphone before you do anything else with your life, buddy. It's 2023. You're playing online video games with people.
Watch your six.
Maybe invest
Levi says,
$25
yeah, that's true.
from fucking some Amazon shitty ass fucking headset that has a mic on it. Maybe go get your fucking Apple earpods and fucking plug those bitches in or something.
They spotted me. I'm taking shots.
I'm spotted. Taking fire.
Levi says, okay sir, I will do that.
Are you calling me sir, you fucking loser?
Just giving my... Listen up, I'm calling a lifeline.
Taking fire. You're in the shield. Ulster out. Going on spot. Top of the chimney. Oscar Mike, I'm spotted.
Med kit here.
I got a pink shield for you.
Level 3.
Alright.
Give me a sec. Oscar Mike, they spotted me. I'm taking shots. Recharging my shields. Give my shields a recharge.
We're not all in the ring. Check your position.
Smoke out. Care package over there.
Is that your smoke?
Firing. Go, go.
Broken enemy shield. Spotted. Double timing it.
Recharging my shield.
Give my shield. Recharging my shields.
I'm spotted. Taking fire.
Enemy shield broken.
Just giving my shields a recharge.
They spotted me. I'm taking shots. Enemy shield broken. Going to phase. Giving up the chimney. Recharging my shield.
I can't hit a shot. I don't know.
Enemy. Might be something good that way.
Yeah, there's gonna be a team coming to our side.
Patching myself up. I need shields.
Where are you? I got shields for you.
Hostile spotted.
Shield battery here.
Thanks.
Up in the chimney.
Countdown.
We're still in here. Let them go fight the other team. Stay here.
Rings nearby. 1 minute till close. Enemy down. Reloading. Reloading. 45 seconds. Rings close.
Rings close. Here's your birthday present.
10 seconds to the ring. It's close at least. Viewing. Watch my back. Warning. Ring is closing. Two other squads are.
A broken enemy shield. Putting lead down range. Kill confirmed. Another notch on the belt.
Right here, it's hurt bad. Right there, it's hurt bad.
Check your sensors.
Oh my god.
Shot at. Enemy down.
They're gonna get me. Oh my god. No one even.
Many Republicans are currently dunking on Matt Gaetz after he basically sparked this big debacle in regard to the House speakership role. He has now successfully ousted House Speaker Kevin McCarthy. Some were in favor, but the majority of Republicans were not. And now we're learning, based on an interview on CNN, that Mike Pence's advisor, fan of Matt Gaetz, or the stunt he pulled. Let's watch.
So figuring out a way forward, we had Congressman Graves on. He said, as you just said, you got to get rid of that motion to vacate. What other things do you think?
Well, I think it's appropriate. Give them a few days to get away, come back on Tuesday, have a forum, allow people to present their issues forward. But I think that what's concerning is we really are $33 trillion in debt.
Yeah.
We do have a border crisis. There's a lot of issues that need to be solved.
Yes.
But the people who were masquerading as fiscal conservatives really, really aren't, Jake. I mean, Matt Gaetz, to say he came here as a fiscal crusader, it's more likely he came here for the teenage interns on Capitol Hill, to be honest.
That was cold-blooded. Now remember, that's a reference to a Department of Justice investigation into Matt Gaetz, which was launched during the Trump administration. And the accusation was that Gaetz had paid for an underage escort to travel across state lines so he could pay her for sex. Now, that investigation just kind of magically went away, which I thought was weird. Remember, his father is very connected in politics. He was a politician in the state of Florida. I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
I get to the top my own way.
Wow. That was Mark Short, by the way, an advisor to Mike Pence.
That was very cunning, and I think it speaks to a GOP-wide, especially from people who have been around for a minute, disgust for Matt Gaetz. I think Matt Gaetz has a lot of Ted Cruz in him. If people will remember when Ted Cruz first rode into the Senate, and he was this ultra-conservative, and we need to repeal Obamacare, and we need to blah, 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 we need to bring up all these motions that aren't going to pass, and we need to take a vote, even though it's dead on arrival, we need to... It was all of this stuff that he was doing to make himself
an intelligent fighter would land there.
As possible, allegedly, to a GOP constituency against his colleagues in the Senate. Meaning, he was throwing those guys under the bus and girls under the bus in order to raise his own public profile so that he could fulfill his aspirations to be the next president of the United States. And I think Matt Gaetz, I don't know if it's to become president,
no,
but it's absolutely the same thing.
It is.
Trying to raise his profile
an intelligent fighter would land there.
Well, I am, but Echo likes to think he is.
And distasteful. When people used to say, Ted Cruz wants to take down low, is that reason? It's like, bro, we're your teammates, and you're throwing us under the bus, not to get something done that you truly believe in, but to just make your name bigger, and to accomplish nothing in the process.
So there are reports that Matt Gaetz is eyeing a gubernatorial run in the state of Florida. So, yeah, I mean, increasing his profile as a public eye, in his mind, is probably beneficial. And, you know, he's really presenting himself as like this fighter for anti-corruption. You know, he gave this speech on the House floor yesterday as this vote to oust McCarthy was about to happen. And he called out all of the, you know, corruption among the politicians in the House and in his own party. Look, I like that kind of speech, to be honest with you. He got booed by members of his own party as he mentioned the corruption. But the reason why I bring it up is, while I support that message, for Gaetz, it's really not about calling out corruption, if you ask me. Again, it's about campaigning for his next political role. And I really do think he's going to eventually run for governor of Florida, and I think that's what this is really about.
Yeah, you can't discount the DeSantis effect, right? A guy who's been very successful in his own right by doing a lot of this same stuff, attention-seeking behaviors on a policy level, or even when he's just doing declarations about things that he's going to do, that he's for or against. It's effectively government by troll. And it's kind of worked for DeSantis, although I think most people would argue that DeSantis was popular because he didn't shut down Florida, that he kept the schools open. Those are the things that people liked. It's not that he was busing immigrants and migrants to freaking California and New York or whatever, or Nantucket, whatever the hell he was doing. And his fundamental misread of that as to why he's suffering right now, but I think Matt Gaetz is running all the wrong things from DeSantis and Ted Cruz before.
Now remember, you get to watch all this ad-free, except for, of course, this ad. Still, it's joined by below.
A Pentagon official has been charged with running a dogfighting ring and allegedly using jumper cables to execute animals that lost in the fights. So I'm going to do my best to keep my composure during this story, but the details are horrific, and I want to also give the audience a warning about that. So the official is 62-year-old Frederick Douglass Warfield Jr., who serves as, or I should say served, as Deputy Chief Information Officer for Command, Control, and Communications for the Secretary of Defense's Chief Information Officer. There he is. That's the guy in question. Now, he's been charged for participating in the dogfighting ring in the D.C. area for more than 20 years. Which honestly leads me to wonder, what is the the vetting process, no pun intended, for Pentagon officials. How did this guy get hired when he's been part of this dogfighting ring for 20 years? So, the ring regularly trained dogs for fights, ran thousands of dollars in bets on the outcomes, and executed dogs that didn't die during matches, and that's according to what the court documents state. Now, how was he discovered as someone who was involved in all of this? The investigation into Moorfield, who named his dogfighting business Jihad Kennels, an apparent home phone for Jihad, began in 2018 when Arundel County Animal Control discovered the bodies of 2 dogs in plastic bags that included mail addressed to his Arnold, Maryland home, according to a recently sealed affidavit. The dogfighting ring that he ran was operating for several years, at least 2 decades, and thousands of dollars were spent on the violent dog matches. And there's quite a bit of evidence pointing to his involvement here. During a search of his home, an iPhone was found with some messages that incriminate him. We blurred out one of the images, which shows a bloody carpet, because these dogs have been tortured, obviously. Along with the iPhone found in Moorfield's home, there was also a ton of very brutal evidence. According to the affidavit, the FBI discovered 5 pit bull type dogs that had created small, systematic cages in a windowless room in the unfinished portion of his basement. The room holding the seized dogs contained items generally used to train dogs for fighting, including weighted collars and heavy metal chains. Investigators also found a device consisting of jumper cables attached to an electrical plug used to execute a dog after losing a fight. And the authorities have put out, photo evidence of the materials that were found in his home, including this one that you'll see. This was released by the U.S. District Court for the District of Maryland. Anyway, I need to take a break from talking about the stories. How about you talk about it?
Yeah, I remember when Michael Vick first got found to be fighting the dogs, which, man, that was such a long time ago now. Over 10 years, over a decade ago. Similar stuff, right? It's like a ring, a tournament, some sort of underground scene where people essentially gamble. And the idea being that this is, I think, for people that were apologists for Mike Vick, me not being one of them, even and I'm not a dog person like you are, but like just the idea that you would do this as a recreational activity strikes me as backwards. Just this idea that this is their culture. That just doesn't pass muster with me. This seems like a business.
No, it isn't. I mean, it totally is. It's like an underground gambling business.
I think most people at the time, what they were trying to say, more of like a racialized sort of way is that this is how people from certain parts, black people from certain parts of Virginia, this is their culture. The idea that you fight dogs for sport. Obviously that has much to do with anybody.
I gotta get out of there, buddy. I mean, why did you go to that fight?
Like, not even a little bit. I didn't even know that was what,
Trust me, there was a lot of people that was thinking that. It's like, yo, this is where he's from. He's from the country in Virginia. This has been a recreational activity for hundreds of years for those people over there. And so, like, this idea that Mike Vick is some monster or criminal, yada, yada, yada. I think even Michael Vick, who's done a lot, honestly, to sort of rehab his image and have a better understanding as to why what he did was actually kind of heinous. I mean, I think Michael Vick, even to this day, could tell you, like, this is just inhumane behavior for anybody to be participating in, much less some Pentagon official or a multi-millionaire athlete like Michael Vick was at the time. Obviously, there's laws on the books against this, and this dude should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, but it's just incredible that somebody of this guy's stature and position in our damn government would be participating in this.
Right, like, for me, again, I call into question how the Pentagon looks into the background and does a full background check into the individuals they decide to hire. Now, the Pentagon has confirmed that he is no longer working in this office, so he has been fired, thankfully. And now he's not only facing an investigation, he's facing prosecution for his involvement here. And to your point about, like, I don't understand how a guy who's working in the Pentagon is involved in, like, a dogfighting ring for, again, like, more than 2 decades. When you look at the Michael Vick story, at the time, if I'm not mistaken, and if I remember the story correctly, he was like the highest paid NFL player.
He was up there.
Yeah.
And you know, some people get when you think about some of the excuses they use, his cousin was actually running the ring. And Michael Vick he owned the house that they rented out of, and so he was kind of financing it. It's not like it was happening underneath his nose.
Yeah.
It was something he was acutely aware of. His cousin got popped for another crime and snitched on him.
Jesus.
Yeah, and so that's why Michael Vick got entangled in that. And what I want to get back to with this Pentagon official and why I think we're so shocked, and I think I've shared this with you in the past, and I think a lot of the culture, the media that we get surrounding military, intelligence officials, crap like the Born Identity. Not to say crap, it's a great movie. But you get this image and this picture of CIA agents,
Of these
intelligent,
professional,
hyper competent individuals. In fact, elite individuals of intelligence, of physical strength.
They're cut above everyone else.
That's what we get in the culture industries when we get portrayals of these people. Or books that are written about them, quite frankly. Like, we get these people, they get dropped into the jungles, and then it's like, no, a lot of these cats are schlubs, just regular human beings with some of the same morals as the rest of them. And maybe they don't deserve a lot of the benefit of the doubt that we force on them as our elites.
Now, if convicted, you know, he, by the way, engaged in this with one of his longtime friends. And so if convicted, the two would face a maximum sentence of 5 years in prison, according to prosecutors. They are currently out of custody, but remain under supervision. So they were able to, you know, post bail. And so we'll see how the case plays out. But it's just, look, I get that I'm biased because I own a dog. I don't even like to say own a dog. There is a dog in my family. You're not a dog person?
I'm going to understand.
We gotta take it down.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start crying.
Yeah.
Just anyone doing anything like that to my dog. Which would never happen because Charlie is not, you know, a pit bull or a pit bull looking dog. Usually they use pit bulls to do this. But look, the reason why I bring it up
Toodles app says, Tuck.
when you have a dog in your family, you are very aware of just how
We're in right here. We don't gotta go far.
and how aware they are of.
I'm 86 on the
Just
drop.
to give you an example, Charlie, like obviously the dog can't read time. But whenever I'm doing the show for Paul, at around 5:15 local time, he's like, she's wrapping up and it's time for my walk. He starts rolling around on the bed. Like, they're so intelligent and they're so cognizant of like the environment around them and what's going on. Like, just thinking about those dogs being tortured, thinking about those dogs being, you know, executed with freaking jumper cables.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
I think folks need to understand, like, we're not talking about, you know, squashing it in or road you guys instantly upon impact from the bottom of your shoe. Like, these animals are going through extreme, excruciating pain. And we know what these guys are doing with this dog fighting and then some scenario execution of these people, of these dogs. Is just, you know, it's criminal. It's again inhumane.
Also, I mean,
Can't go through there. Never mind.
right? Like, I'm gonna dispose. God, it's so disgusting. Like,
I get how it shows on the map that we can get through there,
tearing
but
up. But
over
like
there we
disposing of the dog's remains in a plastic bag, but also including your freaking mail in the plastic. You work for the Pentagon?
45 seconds, rings just up ahead.
I mean, you're so right. I mean, we need to
try to craft this game. I don't know how fucking get this crafted.
It totally is.
You take the zip line maybe and go.
The military, like, they want us to think that these are.
We're gonna try to get.
You know, you always hear.
Well, I'm dead.
When a company is like Apple or something, right? They want us to think that the military product that we produce is the
What a waste of my fucking
of
time.
military products, and
God
that's how
damn
they're
it.
portrayed in media and in culture. And I think that's why we've become so surprised when these people who we assume are part of just the smartest, most capable thing that's ever been produced in the history of America are doing something this stupid and, quite frankly, disgusting.
Disgusting and cruel, definitely.
Hey, thanks for watching this video. We really appreciate it, guys. And we appreciate it if you become members because that allows us to be independent, honest.
Welcome, gentlemen,
I got one more.
gentlemen, and statistically, ladies, to the tech news. I think the ratio is even worse. Jessica wrote that, so it's okay. This morning's Made by Google event marked the official launch of the Pixel 8, Pixel 8 Pro, and Pixel Watch 2. The sequel to the Pixel Watch has a more efficient Qualcomm Snapdragon W5 processor and up to 24 hours of battery life even with always-on display active, almost matching the features of the $15 dumb watch you bought off a homeless person. Sure, that one doesn't have a new skin temperature and electrodermal sensor, but Georgie assures me that's coming next year. He never lies. As for the phone, defying the long-term bigger is better trend, the Pixel 8 will be slightly smaller than its predecessor with a 6.2-inch 120Hz version of what Google is calling the Actua display, because it displays what the world actually looks like. The 8 Pro, on the other hand, will have a Super Actua display. No, it's Italian. With a peak brightness of 2400 nits to the 8 non-Pros 2000 nits. Both phones come with a new Tensor G3 chip with extra AI horsepower, and both will see overall improvements to their cameras. Of course, another thing both phones have in common is a significant price bump of $100 over the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro, shipping them to a starting price of $700 and $1,000 respectively. But that's fine, because you'll now have 7 years of software updates to stave off forced obsolescence. And there's the new temperature sensor on the 8 Pro. So you can save $30 on a beep thermometer and shove your $1,000 phone 2 inches deep in a pot roast instead. Worth it!
Good, I'm the jump master.
Honestly. Keep relying. Of course, it's still the year of our soon-to-be AI overlord of 2023, so Google announced a slew of generative AI-powered features in Android 14, as well as boring non-AI features that won't hallucinate insane nonsense. Like lock screen customization, expanded passkey support, and the Health Connect app. Those are available right now for Pixel owners starting from 4 onward, but Pixel 8 will get some extra AI goodies. Best someone out there to pick the best faces in the photo for each person, immediately making this the phone you need to get for your mom, ASIC. And Audio Magic removes annoying background noise after dark and Zoom Enhance is a Pixel 8 Pro exclusive feature that will sharpen photos as you switch to Zoom using generative AI thanks to Google's foundation model running locally on the phone. But the big news is Google's announcement of Google Assistant with Bard, a multimodal generative AI that Pixel users will be able to invoke over any app to do stuff like, say, come up with a better name than Google Assistant with Bard. Call it Stacy or something. Google's still got some time for that. It's rolling out to early testers soon to do battle with the Meta AI system. Frankly, I'm putting my money on Meta's team of celebrity all-stars. It's just like Space Jam. It's the captains of Monstars. Speaking of Meta, according to the Wall Street Journal, Meta is considering charging European users for ad-free versions of Facebook and Instagram. $10.50 a month for Facebook or Instagram, or around $17 for both. What a deal. So price-sensitive users might have to decide between all those cool Insta filters and responding to all those requests from high school classmates who are now deep into MLMs.
Don't eat any Tupperware.
Now, to be clear, a fully ad-riddled free version of each Meta brand hellhole would still be available to users who agree to targeted ads. But this is just Meta's proposed workaround to the strict privacy rules recently instituted by the EU. Meta has apparently approached regulators with a plan, which it calls Subscription No Ads, or SNA. Sounds like a rap album. And Meta hopes to begin the rollout within the next few months. It's not clear yet whether the EU will accept the proposal. They may ask for a cheaper alternative. But regardless, it might be time for privacy-conscious European users to consider whether they're okay with paying $200 a year for the hyper-addictive misery generators they currently get for free.
Yo, we should def check out that camera.
Now it's time for Quick Bits, brought to you by Seasonic, maker of offensively good power supplies, like the Focus GX 750 Watt Gold. With a fully modular interface, hybrid fan control to limit fan noise, and an 80+ gold rating, this baby is as reliable as it is. Plus, it's backed by a 10-year warranty. It's a great choice for mid-range systems at a great price, and with some imagination, it could even make a great friend.
Faster, faster, faster.
Learn more about them at seasonic.com or through the link below. Quick Bits are like a high five, except that I give you.
Listen up, I'm calling a lifeline packaging.
So we don't have to put one of our writers to sleep. Not so much room to roam. According to an internal memo obtained by Mac Rumors, all first-gen Apple Watch models released in 2015 have been added to Apple's obsolete products list, meaning they will no longer be eligible for service or repairs from Apple stores or its authorized service providers. Those obsolete Series 0 devices include solid gold Apple Watches with 18-karat cases that Apple sold for $10,000 to $17,000 and discontinued in 2016. On the software side, watchOS 5 already dropped these watches back in 2018. I guess early adopter of this watch, Beyonce, is gonna have to get her watch fixed at a tiny bodega behind a laundromat, just like the rest of us. She probably does that. She's very down to earth. Bing Chat has been reportedly serving users with malvertising. That incorrect users to phishing sites that attempt to install malware. Microsoft introduced ads to Bing.
What the fuck was that?
This particular malvertising campaign, uncovered by Malwarebytes, appears to have originated with the hacking of an ad account belonging to a legitimate business, which was then used to launch malicious ads targeting system admins and lawyers. Remember, no matter where digital technology goes, malware follows. Just like caterpillars, very smart.
Shot at.
The metaphor. Oh, okay. Future Motion has announced a recall of all original One-Wheel and One-Wheel Plus electric skateboards in response to serious injuries and 4 deaths that occurred between 2019 and 2021. And I think I speak for everyone when I say, wow, those things are way safer than I thought they'd be. Regulators first made calls for a recall nearly a year ago, which Future Motion described as unjustified and alarmist. The company didn't explain what changed their minds, but they will be pushing firmware to later one-wheel models that adds a haptic buzz that alerts the rider that the vehicle is in an error state, on low battery, or needs to slow down. So now users will be aware there is some kind of problem well before they are plugged face first into a public. The FCC has fined policy in the first enforcement of this particular space crime. I think the margin is while this needs to pay them $150,000 for the offending jump satellite is still at risk of colliding with other spacecraft. That's like scolding a parent for letting a child play in the highway, but not removing the child. I mean, you can ensure their siblings won't be kept. They're already up. And researchers at the University of Maryland claim that there is no reliable watermarking for AI cameras, following a study where they broke through watermarking system after watermarking system, like a lock-picking lawyer going through a rough divorce. There's layers to that. Removing a watermark from an image, adjusting the brightness or adding a little Gaussian blur.
Enemy taken out.
Holy fuck! We're nice call out.
Was equally tricky. So
I'm done with this game. Such bullshit. Your fucking teammate never use their voice. Don't fucking peace. Fuck this.
Can you believe a robot made this? And I'm begging you to come back on Friday for another episode of Fun. You'll be able to make your own
Plays like a
NPC
rat,
by
hides
playing
in a
video
corner.
and it
Cool.
prints screen.
Doesn't use a mic, doesn't communicate at all.
Stream, Dr.
Go play a game of Rocket League. Fuck it.
I'm mad. I'm pissed off. I'm a bit perturbed. So you're gonna have to excuse me because I'm starting beef in today's video. Specifically with somebody who's been taking all of my ideas. Specifically, one of my most successful ideas, copying Mr. Beast. You know, Mr. Beast looks at rare things, I look at rare things. Mr. Beast makes a video he doesn't want to upload, I upload the damn video. And what happens? It becomes my most viewed video all time. But this idea of taking from Mr. Beast has been taken from me by AI. And Mr. Beast tweeted out yesterday, lots of people are getting this deep fake scam out of me. Are social media platforms ready to handle the rise of AI deepfakes? Let's take a look at the deepfake together. Got 30 million views.
Watching this video, you're one of the 10,000 lucky people who will get an iPhone 15 Pro for just $2. I'm Mr. Beast, and I'm doing the world's largest iPhone 15 giveaway. Click the link below to claim yours now.
Now, outside of the low-res video made lower res by Twitter compression, that was a pretty damn good replica of Mr. Beast. The mouth moved, the face was accurate, the voice was monotone, but it sounded like, I'm Mr. Beast and I'm gonna eat a tire. And some people who believe in this are getting scammed by AI fake Mr. Beast user. But I don't mind it, because we are right now at the core of what those deepfakes are gonna look like. 2 years ago, that wouldn't even exist. That wouldn't be like a skill of stock AI. Nowadays, in that 2-year time span, we have developed a lot. In another 2 years, we're going to develop a whole lot more. So, fairy tale that AI is eventually going to be able to replicate people perfectly with the barrier of entry for anyone to create an AI video is very small. This is fact. This will happen. It's not like the kid who died drowning himself trying to find SpongeBob. That's an urban legend, by the way. I don't know if you heard that in school growing up. That's not real. This AI thing, very real. Snopes says true. AI will take over everything.
One was a funny way.
point, I think this will rest on social media platforms' shoulders to handle that for the short term. Because as far as I can tell, North America is not taking this very seriously. In fact, these two article titles came out within a month of each other. Europeans take a major step towards regulating AI. It's all about how the Parliament made some pretty robust changes that are generally risk averse out. On later, the U.S. regulating AI is this is not going to happen. It's not how the U.S. operates. And I know that firsthand because I work in the baking industry, and they didn't have shit for a lot, so they had 1,000 what happened from AI. In the early days where the tech was ahead of politics, these are the most dangerous days of all. It's not just dangerous for social media people, it's dangerous for like celebrities. That Tom Hanks dental ad that used an AI version of him that he was posting online saying he was white. But let's get back to this. Let's get back to the social media platform. We're going to have to turn this problem. So the government's not going to deal with this at the speed at which the technology will increase. It's up to the social media platform. And we're not deciding to do. Some are deciding to leave them all the way in. Can't have an AI deepfake of our creator to the punch. At least that maybe is the thought process of Meta, which is an AI assistant, aka Meta AI, that also has 28 versions of it using celebrities and different creators, including Mr. Beast. You can see right here is listed as Zach, because this Meta AI tool will use these celebrities, their face, their likeness, their voice, and make a character of them. So it's not actually you have Tom Brady, you have confident sports figure. You don't have Mr. Beast, you have Zach, the brother of Joe. It's weird, like most things Meta has done over the past couple of years. When it is AI, it will definitely be as or if not more advanced than any standard AI developed for Mr. Beast. Look, he has his own Facebook page, and it perfectly matches his voice. Here's to generate real humor based on my artificial paint. Joseph Collins said, hashtag imaginative AI. Okay, they need a bit of work on it, we'll get there. They basically made Mr. Beast a glorified version of Clippy. He's your personal assistant, and he can help you through your day-to-day tasks. But Meta isn't the only team who's trying to tackle the AI issue, also being tackled by YouTube, specifically because of pressure from larger technology groups, the music industry. Logan, the CEO of Google, dropped this article about a month ago that talks about some of the things that they are doing to create safeguards for AI recreation. Because hey, all these AI covers are taking the money that we want. We want money. We're the fucking YouTube industry, baby. That's what we do. So YouTube has to give money. So basically, they have to create things to track all the AI songs. So when you listen to your Schlatt AI version of Frank Sinatra, now the people who hold that song, Universal Music Group, are going to get paid off of it. That's literally the goal of it. And they need to have a more robust content ID system in place to do that. But it shouldn't be exclusive to.
Well, that's the end of tonight. I feel good. Ended on a win. Call that a night.
People, but
that's
also
stream.
Creators' videos altogether. That's super awesome. I think my job's at risk, mostly from me not uploading frequently enough, but also from AI. It can do what I do better and at a faster rate. And we don't have the same power that unions do. So maybe at this current moment in time, AI is not going to take my job. It's not going to take Mr. Beast.